Inflation. Inflation describes the steady rise in the price level of an economy. The value of money goes down with inflation and you can buy less for the same amount as before. Deflation means the opposite. So the monetary value increases. Definition of inflation and deflation, what is it? Inflation is understood to mean the increased amount of money in circulation and the associated rising price level. The prices of all goods are rising continuously, and you can buy less with $1 than before. $1 is therefore worthless. Deflation is the opposite of inflation. Here are the prices for goods and services that fall in the long term and the monetary value increases. Deflation, like inflation, has negative effects on the economy, which is due to the fact that companies have to react to falling prices by, for example, optimizing their purchasing process, negotiating more with suppliers, laying off workers if necessary, lowering wages, and reducing production to make less profit overall. Consumers are also reacting to deflation by consuming less than they constantly hope for a cheaper price. Further consequences are that banks have issued fewer loans and the value of debts increases. Cause and development of inflation. Inflation can develop for various reasons. For one thing, inflation can occur if the central bank wants to increase liquidity in the market. As more money can then be spent, the demand increases. This in turn leads to a rise in prices because the money supply increases faster than the goods available. The demand is greater than the supply. Another possible cause, increases in production costs, such as wage increases or rising raw material prices. As companies still want to make a profit, they raise their prices, which lowers the value of money. Advantages. On the one hand, central banks can also exert an influence on inflation by raising the key interest rate. As a result, the granting of loans becomes less attractive and money becomes scarcer at the same time. The scarcity in turn leads to rising monetary value and low inflation. On the other hand, politicians are partially able to control inflation, for example by changing or setting taxes or price and salary agreements. As long as it does not get too high, inflation is often wanted. This is the case if, for example, prices are to be steered in a different direction or government debt has to be reduced. Disadvantage. Inflation is a major disadvantage, especially for savers, as savings investments are also subject to inflation. But high inflation also means many disadvantages for employees, because the purchasing power of their wages decreases, and the wages are usually not adjusted directly to inflation. There are also disadvantages for creditors, because the real value of the loan diminishes when the money loses value. Measurement. In Germany, as in many other countries, inflation is measured with the help of a so-called shopping basket. This shopping cart contains selected goods and services that are consumed by the average German household within 1 year. Often the prices change from year to year so that one can compare the prices of the shopping cart for 1 year with the previous year and calculate the inflation rate. Types of inflation. The types of inflation are differentiated on the one hand according to the recognizability of the price increase and on the other hand according to the speed. The detectability of the price increase. Open inflation, the rise in prices and the devaluation are recognizable for everyone. Hidden inflation, prices remain constant, but the quality of goods deteriorates, which in turn leads to a decrease in the actual value of money. Damned inflation. The state keeps the price level artificially stable through maximum prices. The speed of inflation. Creeping inflation, the price increase is small and happens almost unnoticed, but constantly. Trotting inflation, this means a mean price increase. Galloping inflation, the price level rises significantly, which poses a threat to the economy. Hyperinflation, this is an extreme case due to a very high price increase.